As we observe International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women and the accompanying 16 days of activism against gender violence, the Tobago House of Assembly reaffirms its commitment to preventing and responding to violence against women and girls. Every year, we are reminded how women are beaten in their homes, harassed on the streets, bullied in the workplace. Violence against women is not only a woman's issue, it is a priority for all men and all women who are committed to contributing to the development of our society. It is violence against us all. The theme of this year's observance is Orange Your Neighborhood. We are taking the campaign to the streets, to the shops and businesses, and we are encouraging you to organize orange events in your own neighborhoods between the 25th of November and the 10th December 2014. Violence against women is a universal problem. Recent global figures by the World Health Organization indicate that 35% of women worldwide have experienced either intimate partner violence or non-partner sexual violence in their lifetime. It is a major public health problem and violation of women's human rights. A 2013 report by the Pan-American Health Organization, PAHO, indicated that between 41% and 82% of women who were abused by their partner experienced a physical injury ranging from cuts and bruises to broken bones, miscarriages, and burns. It further reported that between 28% and 64% did not seek help or speak to anyone about their experience of violence. Many victims stay silent, either in fear of the consequences of speaking up or because they believe themselves responsible for the violence. While Trinidad and Tobago has an admirable track record and an enviable reputation internationally with regard to promoting the rights of women and girls, provisional figures from the Crime and Problem Analysis Unit of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service indicate that for the period 1st January 2004 to 28th February 2014, 15,312 reports of domestic violence were received. Offenses ranged from psychological abuse to murder. The greatest numbers of reports were for assault by beating and threat, which was more than 12,000. A geographical analysis revealed that the majority of cases occurred in Trinidad, with 20 cases occurring in Tobago. In the case of murder as a result of domestic violence, 239 persons were victims. These figures should concern all of us, whether it occurs in our own neighborhood or on distant shores. Violence against women and girls damages us all, men and women alike. In 1995, close to 20 years ago, 189 governments came together in Beijing. They adopted a platform for action that spelled out key strategies to end violence against women that address the root causes of gender inequality. Addressing violence against women and girls is not just a moral imperative. It is an economic necessity. In addition to the psychological and emotional fees we pay, we also pay the medical bills and legal costs. We lose wages and productivity. Businesses lose employees. Families lose primary wage earners. In short, we simply cannot afford to let gender-based violence continue. Here in Tobago, we are appealing to our men and boys, including our male leaders. Let us show the world that our men can lead the way in joining our women to end this scourge in society. The Division of Health and Social Services implements effective prevention strategies to empower women, increase their knowledge in technology, entrepreneurship, and self-sufficiency as they strive to achieve gender equality. This incorporates better services for women surviving violence, such as hotlines, shelters, legal advice, access to justice, counseling, police protection, and health services. The division pursues more accurate reporting rates, better data collection, and strengthened analyses of risk and prevalence factors. In this regard, we provide greater support for organizations which are often on the front line of the response. We intend to embrace more men and boys, women and girls who are standing up against violence, denouncing it, and stopping it through district gender focal point groups. We are about to launch the program Bago Men for Women, BMW, a campaign to engage men, boys, women, and girls as advocates and agents of change for the achievement of gender equality and women's rights. In 2013, the Tobago House of Assembly partnered with the Global Center for Behavioral Health of the USA in hosting the first Caribbean Conference on Domestic Violence and Gender Equality, Breaking the Silence, here in Tobago. The conference brought together technical experts and stakeholders from several countries, including Trinidad and Tobago, and facilitated critical conversations about strengthening prevention strategies and responses to gender-based violence. Ending violence against women and girls has a central place in our comprehensive economic development framework. For the very first time this fiscal year, funds have been allocated for gender in the recurrent budget, and resources are targeted at the provision of quality services and effective prevention strategies. Now is the time for action. As Secretary of Health and Social Services with responsibility for gender affairs, as an assemblyman and as a woman, I call on all persons of influence locally, nationally, and internationally to take action to end all forms of violence against women and girls. It is the shared responsibility of each and every one of us. We will continue to socialize our boys and men to treat girls and women as equals, with dignity and respect. The Gender Affairs Unit will join the international and national community in 16 days of activism to raise awareness of the fight to end violence against women and girls, and will continue a year-long campaign that will focus on the roles of and concerns related to men and women. We need to take action now. We all need to work together to empower girls to speak up for themselves and educate boys to speak up for their sisters. We must ultimately overcome the deep-rooted gender inequalities and discriminatory practices. Let us protect our women and girls and liberate them from fear and from silence. Together, we must make 2015 the year that marks the beginning of the end of gender inequality and gender violence for a brighter future in Tobago.